Hey math peeps, what we're looking at today is how to convert from standard form of a linear equation to what we call slope-intercept form. Okay, we have a couple of notes to take here. Slope-intercept form, copy this down, looks like this. Y equals m times x plus b. And in that equation, each letter represents something different. B represents what we call the y-intercept. M represents your slope. And then your x and your y are your points on the graph. Okay, one specific point that is on the line you're drawing on the graph. Okay, and you've already looked at slope in the past. So slope, also known as m, is equal to, you can look at it in a couple different ways. You can use rise over run, where you actually count the spaces that the line moves on your graph. Or you can look at the change in y over the change in x, okay, where you're subtracting your y's and then subtracting your x's and dividing them. Okay, so that's your slope. Y-intercept is where the line that you're drawing intercepts the y-axis. Okay, so this is wherever the line crosses the y-axis on the graph. Okay, so one exact spot. And then your x and y, just like any other point on a graph, that's one point on your line. So one exact point on your line. Okay, just a quick review there. So what we've looked at so far are linear equations that are in what we would call standard form. Okay, and standard form looks like this. Okay, we would have ax plus by plus c equals 0. And you have done lots of practice on manipulating these types of equations to solve for any given variable. Okay, and so we're looking at basically three different terms. One is a constant term, it doesn't have a variable. The other two have a variable. Those variables that we're looking for would be the values that are associated with the x and the y. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to rearrange this equation so that we can get into slope-intercept form. So our steps are going to be rearrange, use inverse operations. So do the opposite. You want to get y alone, and then if you need to shift things around again, get it into the right formation. Okay. Okay, so what that looks like is if we are given an equation and we have ax plus by plus c equals 0. I guess I need to move that up a little bit. Okay, I want to get y on the left. Okay, it's already on the left of the equal sign, so for now I can just leave it there. I want to move the ax and the c to the other side. Okay, so to rearrange it, I'm going to have to do the opposite of what's already being done. Okay, this is a positive ax, so I'm going to subtract ax from both sides. I also want to move the c, so I'm going to subtract the c. Okay, sometimes I like to draw a line down the equal sign just to keep myself organized. These cancel. I'm left with another way to stay organized. I'm left with by, and now I have negative ax minus c. So we're getting there, we're almost there. And then I want to get the y by itself. It currently has a b value with it, and I don't really want it there. I want y all alone. So I'm going to divide the entire equation by b. So I'm going to divide that by b and divide that by b. Now these cancel. Y is alone. I have negative a over b x minus c over b. So whatever this point is, this is my y-intercept, and whatever value this is my slope. Okay? That's a little crooked. Hopefully you can follow that okay. And I'd like to go ahead and do a couple of examples. Okay? So I'm flipping the page here, and we'll start with a couple of examples. So let's say you are given this amount, okay? And your job is to rearrange. So I've got standard form, and I want to go to slope-intercept. I have to rearrange my equations here. Okay, so let's say I have, for standard form, we'll say I have 3x minus 2y plus 5 equals 0. Okay? And I want to rearrange this linear equation so that I can get it into sloped-intercept form. Okay? So first of all, I have, remember, sloped-intercept is y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to want my constant, which is my b, on the right-hand side, and my value that's associated with the x, that will be my slope on the right-hand side. Okay, so I have a positive 3x here, so I'm going to subtract that from both sides. Again, I should probably draw my organizational line there. And then I want to subtract 5 from both sides as well. Okay, so as I go through here, my 3x's cancel, my 5's cancel. I'm stuck with this negative 2y. I'm going to keep that, and I have negative 3x minus 5. Okay, I'm closer. Now I just need to do that extra step to get the y by itself. So I'm going to divide by 2, negative 2 everywhere. Okay, this becomes y because those negative 2's cancel. These negatives cancel one another out, and I have 3 over 2 as my slope. So my rise is up 3 over 2. I have x, and then these negatives cancel out as well, and I have 5 over 2 is my y-intercept. So in order to graph that, it might be easier to turn it into a decimal, but you would want to leave your slope as 3 over 2 as a fraction so that the rise over run is pretty obvious. Okay, so this is my slope, and this is my y-intercept. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, another example. Maybe I have 6x plus 3 equals let's go with 4y. Well, shoot. This one, I have the 4y alone already, but it's not in an easy way for me to associate it with that y equals mx plus b. It's like flipped around. Okay, but I have the y alone, so I'm like already halfway there. So I'm just going to rewrite it, and I'm going to flip-flop my equal signs, or my equals, so that everything is on the opposite side. I'm already in y equals mx plus b. Now all I need to do is divide by my 4 so that I can have them cancel here. And I have y equals 6 over 4. I can leave it that way. I could reduce it if I want. For the sake of solving the equation, I'm just going to leave it. and then plus 3/4 gives me my y equals mx plus b format. And again, this is my slope and this is my y-intercept. So if I needed to draw that specific line on a graph, I know where I start. My beginning point is going to be the y-intercept, and then I know that from that point I go up 6, right 4, up 6, right 4 to make my line, and then I would just connect my dots. Okay? And that is it for the moment.